let's unpack and discuss. So this being the last match, my key takeaways were a lot of things that I mentioned earlier. Faust neutral is looking, it's kind of hard to say. It's a little sus in some areas, but it's not that bad in others. But I think the items are a bit of a problem. Like, being able to challenge his items now a lot more. Obviously, some people who like don't like Faust are just like, yeah, man, I'm so glad I can finally, I can do something about this. But like, in a lot of ways, you had so many ways to kind of get around a lot of his items as it was. Being able to kind of bump the bomb back at him is kind of like okay, I suppose. Like that one's not so bad, I guess. But man, Horn, in my honest opinion, Horn is a bit of an issue. Horn is such a strong item that when both players have access to it, it's kind of nutty. I guess in a sense, Faust alone getting it is scary, but I feel like part of the way you deal with that is you screen hug, right? Like you screen hug him away from it, or you know, I don't know. I just feel like being able to turn it around against him is pretty sus. On the flip side, he can just double jump and bomb bag, but if he just double jumps and bomb bag, then he's exhausted his aerial movements, you know? He can double jump to kind of get around it. So let me explain why that hurts him a lot, right? Let me explain why that hurts him and why it's better for the defender, right? So let's say let's get a scenario, right? Let's take a scenario where you grab, he tosses out Horn, you grab the Horn, right? He jumps up on the strength of you knowing that you have it, and then let's say he double jumps and does bomb bag, right? Or let's just say he just jumps one time knowing that it's coming, right? You run at him. What happens? You're building meter. Faust is not building shit. See? So now you're winning in the meter department because you get to advance. So now you're building more tension than he is. So now you're going to be meter positive on the strength of stealing something from him, right? On top of gaining pressure, right? So he tosses bomb bag, you block the bomb bag. Okay, whoop-de-doo. Or let's say you just ran underneath him and you avoided it. Now he has to guess on the way down. If he exhausts his double jump into bomb bag. If. Now, let's say he just jumped one time and then double jumped again late, right? He's now vulnerable to air throw. But he can just throw bomb bag. You can also just run behind him and the bomb bag is behind you. And the stampede is already off the screen, but you're behind him now. You see what I'm saying? So if you have a quick character, even if you don't have a quick character, right? Nagoriyuki don't seem like he's that slow enough to where he can't just command dash and be behind him. You see what I mean? He would have to screen hug to the corner to prevent him being caught on the opposite side. But keep in mind what I just said, corner. So now he gets himself cornered on the strength of not wanting to be messed up. So you see why I'm saying like this kind of hurts Faust. I could understand stealing the item from Faust and it not coming out. That could be a bit of a way to kind of mitigate. But if you catch it and the Faust player is kind of not paying attention, you just officially won neutral on like, you see what I'm saying? Like, Faust has given you something to steal neutral away from him. That's why I think it's a bit of a problem. A bit. Stealing it away from him and it not coming out is kind of okay. But stealing it from him and then gaining what he would gain from a character whose neutral is already kind of sus right now. Of course, it is too early to say, right? But if you think of that scenario in itself and apply that to the other things that you take away from him, Faust seems like he might struggle a bit in this version. He might. His buttons are still good. Maybe all the better Faust items are not in the build yet. Who knows? Who knows? Like, everything about Faust right now feels like it's better than beta, but not by that much. Because I feel like Nago's buttons are just better. And it's not so much the range, right? Because Nago can get in the range. Faust hits from further out, but it doesn't go into anything. Faust was going against Nago, so his buttons looked far. Right. Of course. But like, Nago controls outside of like, Nago's footsie range is like almost the equivalent to Sin's far slash. It's looking like that. and he can go into something else, whereas the Faust is just doing like far slash into item, you know, and that's kind of always been his thing. But it's like it's not at tip range. It doesn't mean much. Does that make sense? So he does tip range far slash into like scalpel pull. If you get hit, that's your fault. That's always been his thing. But like now it's like even worse. It doesn't feel scary. It's like, all right, far slash item. Please don't toss out horn. You know, you want, now it seems to me like you want the other items. You don't want the items that allow Faust to get challenged. Like, you know what I mean? Faust items are always random. RFD? Nah. RFD and anti-air, nah. It's just Nago Ryuki's buttons chipping and doing big damage, and it's another way for him to get in. So like it's kind of like in the notion of like, say, Guy, right, or Ibuki, or any character with a command dash, right? You command dash on hit and you use the plus frames to work with to get next to your opponent again, right? So let's say he does far slash, heavy slash, they hit, and then just teleport or command dash next to you, and it's like, okay, he's closer in now, so now he's a lot more scary. Now he may not be super duper plus, but it's an unchallengeable command dash, you see what I mean? Because it's on hit, it's not on block. On block, you saw Nage grab, it's still a read, but now like there is no read, there's nothing there. He made contact and he gets to move in safely now, right? That's how command dashes work. You mix up on hit and on block to check people's reactions. So he has the ability to do that, and it's like, His mind game was doing far slash drill, right? So I don't know if he has something to replace that. Yeah, it's tricky. Yep, tip range, far slash, and the scalpel pull and combo, so it's not as scary. Nope. It's just, it just feels like Faust has to work really hard for that, for the same type of reward that Nago gets, on the strength of even having items that get him killed. So it's like I said, Stampede Horn might be a bit much, but looking at it, even the damage that he got off of Stampede didn't seem like, man, this is dumb. It didn't seem OP. It seems like okay damage, and then it still drags across, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, the good thing about it is that it gives you, it looks like it chases them across the screen, so like it will do a corner push, so that helps Faust kind of keep corner. But like I said before, he's throwing the item at you, so it's like it's so counterproductive. It's very counterproductive. Yeah, agreed. Tornado being steerable is good. Like being able to steer the tornado to kind of get away and stay safe is good. But like his close range just doesn't seem scary. With the, I'm telling you, without like FDC, Flawless Defense, cancel drill into jump H, I just feel like Faust neutral just is reliant on like one button. It really feels like it's just reliant on one button. And if we come back here and like, because I have a lot to say about this, to be honest, right? Like, look at this. Like, the instant challenge. You could always do this before, but like, if this is tip range, right? Now, granted, okay, if I unpack that real quick, look at that. Like, dude, this is so good, right? All right, it's not quite tip range. It's like, it's max range, but it's not tip range, right? I think it's safe to say it's not tip range, right? We revisit. That was tip range. Like this last one in the scalpel pull, that was tip range, right? Like that's pretty much tip range. That's a good range to be at where it's not challengeable. Not to mention the mini Faust was there to kind of discourage, right? But then we get back closer, right? And then he's not quite tip range, right? He's a lot closer. But look at that. That's enough time to react, and boom. And Goichi has good reactions. And he got a 3-piece combo into like corner. Like, these are the things that are concerning, right? Like, what reason do you have to be scared? And look, I'm assuming, yeah, this is like his jump slash, and then he goes into tornado. It's like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna still take my turn back, and I'm gonna do damage. Like, dude, look at the chip damage my man's is getting, dude. Off the special alone, is mad chip damage. Like, he's always doing damage. This is the thing about Nago that gets me. Like, he's always doing damage. So, like, the goal against the goal fighting him is to not look at this every time. Every time. 2S. This is nuts. This is nuts. Doesn't matter. Like, this is what I'm saying. What else is he gonna go into? Scalpel pool? He can't jump cancel it. So it's like whatever. It's like hide, but like even better buttons. Overhead, okay. We RC'd. Now what? We get a safe item toss into something that you could just swing back at me. You know what I mean? Like, okay. I don't know, I don't know, his zoning game just doesn't feel oppressive. It doesn't feel that scary. Now granted, it's still early. It's still early. But this 3-piece right here, this joint is already doing mad damage. It's just doing so much damage, man. 2S Tornado. Okay, I figured that was 2S. But I don't know, dog. Like, I just don't. Right now, I'm just failing to see. Now look. Look at that. Look at that. All right, here's horn. Look, here's horn. Hey, look. Here, take the horn. Like, if the item toss for horn was a little bit more in the middle, it kind of would be okay. But look, now Nago gets horn immediately. Look. I mean, this has always been a thing with the anvil, but it doesn't knock down. It doesn't knock down. Boom. Unblockable. Well, it's technically speaking unblockable. And then you have to hold that shit. All the while, let's unpack that, dude. Look at the wrist build from the Stampede. So there was wrist build from the anvil, boom, right? That's already a big chunk up there, right? And then look at Stampede. That's crazy. That's crazy. Seems harder because of lack of drill. Yep. This is crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, Stampede alone is 25% risk. It's crazy. And look at the damage he gets to do off of this. And then into the shimmy. It just feels like Faust mid-range is just not scary anymore. Like, you don't really have much to be afraid of. Like, even just trying to, like... I don't even know what his anti-air is, man. I think his 6P was weak in beta. Yeah, throw animations whiff now. Like, man, dude. Jump S, jump H. Tall character still can't get hit by it. Like, I'm legit just looking at this and I'm like, I feel like people will figure it out, obviously. But if this first impression isn't very good right now for high level Faust. And this is high level for right now. So even then, this looks sus too. It looks like you could probably punish this. Like, look at. Nah, it's neutral. It looks like about neutral. Neutral maybe -1. At worst. Yeah. I just don't know what Faust is supposed to do. I really don't know. I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm not gonna front y'all. I'm lost. Like, this is nice. Gets the knockdown, but I don't know, man. I just don't know what he's supposed to do now. Jump D. I just don't think his neutral is gonna be that good. I think you have to work really hard to just get anything popping. This could change, but as it stands right now, I'm not totally convinced. I'm really not totally convinced about Faust in this game. So Dust got blocked. I literally think the scariest part is Naga Ryuki always doing damage. Him always doing damage to you on hit or block is pretty huge. Because no other character is chipping you out with just normals. That's just not happening. So at the end of the day, I definitely think Naga Ryuki is going to be just fine in the game. I do think that he may have trouble with some speedsters and characters who kind of can contest his buttons. But right now, Faust, he's looking a little rough. Faust is looking a little rough around the edges. A little rough around the edges.